Hey everyone, welcome back to my craft room. If you're new here, my name is Enid. If you've been watching my videos, you know that I've been participating in Paper Terrace's Dollar Tree Junk Journal Challenge. And I've already made 2 journals. One was for my granddaughter, and then my grandson got jealous, so I made him one. And now I'm making me one. So sit tight and I'll be right back with the third and final Paper Terrace Dollar Tree Junk Journal Challenge journal. Sit tight, I'll be right back to get started. I just want to show you guys what I'm going to use for the cover of my journal. And this is one of the doodle pads that I had purchased, but I used up all the paper on Adam's journal. So I want to use this cover. It's 7 by 10. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop it down to 9 because I want the standard 9 by 6 journal cover. So I'm going to chop it down to 9, right? And then it's, see, it's 7 wide. So what I want to do is I'm going to score. I want to give myself 1.5 inches because I want to put 3 signatures in it. And I want to give myself 1.5 inches spine. So from the center of this spine, I'm going to do 3/4 on each side, right? So I'm going to go at the 3/4 mark and I'm going to score down. And then I'm going to flip it this way and I'm also going to do 3/4. All right. And go all the way down. So when I fold these over, right, I should be left with a spine that's 1.5 inches. So let me get this out of the way. My spine from here to here is 1.5, if you can see on the mat. So it's 1.5 inches from this crease to that crease. So that's going to be my spine. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut from the cardboard that was the backing of the calendar. I'm going to cut a 1.5 by 9 inch strip. And I'm going to glue it here to reinforce my spine and to prevent that other crease from popping up, the original crease. And then let's see, I should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I'm just 1/4 inch over 6 on each end of the cover. And so I'm just going to chop off 1/4 inch from 6. Let's see if I line up the crease with the 6 inch mark, chop that off, reverse it, put the crease at the 6 inch mark and chop the 1/4 inch. Yeah, because I didn't want this cover to go to waste. So that's going to be the cover to my journal. And I just wanted you to see it before it's decorated, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on it over the next day or 2. And then I'll come back and just do a flip through. All right. Because it's going to be a lot of work to get it together. And I still have to make all the ephemera for it and all of that. And I think it'll just be quicker for me to process through it and then show you the journal when it's complete. I must be tired. It's 2 o'clock in the morning and I've already done the intro to this video about 10 times. So let's see if I can get this right. I decided to make myself a journal based on Paper Terrace's Dollar Tree Junk Journal Challenge. You guys know I've already made 2. This is the 3rd and final one. It's not 100% complete, but I ran out of time, and I'm gonna have a busy weekend with Adam's birthday party and other family stuff, so I won't be able to finish it probably until next week. But here it is. It doesn't have a topper yet, and right before coming to you with the actual video, I showed you what I used to make the cover. So here it is. This is a Dollar Tree paper bag, which I cut up and I used it to make the cover. And this is the closure is very simple right now. It's just the ribbons that were on the paper bag. So I took them off. I bought 2 paper bags, and I tied 3 ribbons together. And that's a really simple closure that I made. On the spine of the journal, I bought this green autumn ribbon that they currently have on sale. I had to pick up a few more items to complete the journal. But I bought this autumn ribbon, and I had this ribbon here in my stash. And so it's a 3 signature journal. So I don't know if you can make out the thread that I used to bind them. And so yeah, this is the cover, front and back. And like I said, it's one of their paper bags. And then on the inside, I added a fabric liner on the cover. And I put in a pocket with a little bit of lace and a butterfly that I cut off of the bag. I just made a tag and a large journal card using Dollar Tree. This is one of the time cards. And this is one of their legal pad papers. And then this is a book page from a book that I bought at Dollar Tree. And this is part of the paper bag, one of the paper bags I bought. And this piece here is out of a little booklet that they have called Bloom and Grow. So I just use pieces from that book throughout the journal as well. And again, these flowers are from the paper bag. And the paper is from a book that I bought that I could tear pages out of. All right, so that's that. That's the cover. And that's Dollar Tree fabric. And then all of the pages in the journal are Dollar Tree papers. So this is the coloring book. And then I made this flower out of the coin wrappers and one of the Dollar Tree gems. I used my own punches to punch out the flowers. And then I thought it would be cool to add a touch of color to the black and white of the coloring book. And then this paper, this journal is all like white pages, and if it has color, it's based on the color that the paper came. Because I wanted to try a journal just using white paper, because I've never done that before. And it was, you know, gonna be hard to kind of, at least in my area, I couldn't find like any craft cardstock or anything like that in Dollar Tree. And then the only other pieces that I found were this like the packages of scraps, but they were terrible. They were all such thick, heavy paper, and they were more autumn colors, and I really wasn't able to use any of it. So I just stuck with all the white paper and the paper bags and a few other odds and ends that I bought to make the journal. Anyway, so the first thing in the journal that I clipped in was using a piece of the paper bag, and I made a little booklet. And then this beginnings came out of the Bloom and Grow book. And then I just put, you know, a couple of pages from the top Dollar Tree paper and stapled it together. And then I just clipped it with a Dollar Tree binder clip. onto the graph paper from Dollar Tree. And then I bought the little books that have the scriptures and the flowers on them, so I used that throughout the journal as well. And then this was the glitter paper that I bought from Dollar Tree, and the glitter was a mess. It was a nightmare. So it was all over the place. So what I did was I covered it with Mod Podge and I let them dry, and now it's great. The glitter doesn't come off. So that's what I did with these tabs. So then over here I just added one of the Dollar Tree labels and some ribbon along the edge of the dot grid paper that I found at Dollar Tree. And then over here I put another one of their labels with the Dollar Tree flower and the gem. And then I'm sure you're all familiar with these paper pads that Dollar Tree recently came out with. So I've used a couple of these pages throughout the journal. And then I used here one of the coin wrappers to make like a paper ribbon. And I just sewed down the middle and glued it to the page. This here is a page from the Bloom and Grow. And I just stitched around it, added the flower, which I had in my stash from Dollar Tree, put a gem in the center. And then I just made, with Dollar Tree paper, everything here is Dollar Tree paper. This is a butterfly that I cut out of the cards that I purchased at Dollar Tree. They were like in the card section. And the card was all full of butterflies, so I did a lot of cutting out. And then I just used paper from the book that I bought, and I kind of made it like a journaling card with the Dollar Tree cardstock and the papers from the pads that I purchased. And then I just folded this page in 4 and stuck it in the journal card. I can't get it back in here. Part of the reason why it took me so many attempts to do the intro was like I have like something in my throat, like a tickle, and I just keep coughing. So that's part of what made filming this video a bit hard for me tonight. But anyway, so I made that a pocket. And then these are more cutouts. These are the foliage is from the paper bag that I purchased. And then this piece here, this journaling area, and this Persevere are from the Bloom and Grow book. And then this is also a cutout from the paper bag. And then I just made this little like snippet from the bottom part of the time card from Dollar Tree. And I just sewed around it and used it as a journaling spot here. And then I cut this off the paper bag, and I made it, you know, like a pocket. So it's glued here and around the 2 sides. And then I just added a doily. This is a tag from Dollar Tree that I've had in my stash. The craft colored stickers. And then I punched this out of the Bloom and Grow book, the Friends. And then here I just put one of the craft stickers. And I cut this out of the Bloom and Grow book. It says, when you wish good things for others, good things come back to you. And the author is unknown. And so I just put that on, I backed it with another piece of colored paper from the book. And I just glued it down there. And then over here, these are 3 different cutouts from the paper bag. but I kind of stacked them to make it look like a bouquet. When I glued them together, I kind of stacked them, and then I glued them down in, you know, as a little tuck. And then on this piece of cardstock from Dollar Tree, I just put another cutout from the paper bag and a butterfly from the paper bag. And when I put it in there, it kind of looks like an extension of the bouquet. So I thought that turned out really cute. I was happy with that. And then a Dollar Tree doily. And then these are 2 more flowers from the bag that I bought. And then I just put from the receipt book from Dollar Tree. I just folded it in half and put a sticker on it from Dollar Tree, and then I can just tuck it under the flowers. And then over here, this is a card that I bought again at Dollar Tree, and I cut around the flowers to make it a pocket. And then I got that from the Bloom and Grow book, obviously, and I stuck it down like as a snippet. I put some of the Dollar Tree gems, and then I made this card using the pink cardstock, and then I lined it with the Dollar Tree vellum, and I stitched around it. And then this is from, I found this packet of cards. I forgot what they were called, but they were really cute cards, and it had maybe 20 cards or 25 in a pack that were really nice. I forgot what it was called, but they were from Dollar Tree, so I just kind of threw that in there. The color isn't a great match, but really I didn't have too many choices, and so then I put that in here as well. So that's that. And then this was from the doodle pads that Dollar Tree had. This was all cut out from the Bloom and Grow book. I kind of trimmed around this corner piece and put it down there. This is a butterfly from the paper bag that I bought, which matched perfectly with these colors. And then I cut the page up, and I cut around this wreath, and then I cut out the inside and put a piece of journaling paper in there. And then I used one of my dies to cut this tag out, and this phrase is from the book as well. It says, "The beginning is always today," by Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley. So oh yeah, and then I put ribbon on the side of that paper. And then this is just one of those notepad papers with the ribbon. And then over here I just used one of my old Stampin' Up punches to punch these flowers out, and then I punched the same image in this solid color, and then I just kind of layered them to give it like a shadow effect. And then over here, I used part of the plastic Dollar Tree envelope that I had purchased. And this was a scrap that I had left. And so I stitched around it and made it a pocket. But I layered it on top of book page. I don't know if you can see the book page that's underneath it, but there's book page underneath it. And then these flowers are cutouts from the paper bag. I put ribbon here. This number I cut off of one of the receipts and used it as a snippet. And then over here, I just kind of collaged a journal card. And it's got journaling inside. On an index card, I collaged on the index card. And then I just folded one of these waterfall papers and stuck it in the pocket as well. So that's that page. And I used a little bit of the Dollar Tree tissue and pieces of the other paper from Dollar Tree. And then over here, this is one of the butterflies from the card that I cut up. I cut all the butterflies off of it. And then more of the graph paper. And then this is the end of the first signature, and I added another coin wrapper flower on top of one of the flowers there, just to kind of give it that color on the black and white. And then here's the second signature beginning. And again, here's a butterfly from the card. I put it over the butterfly that was on the actual image. And then over here, I just did the Dollar Tree sticker with a piece of ribbon and a flower. And I kind of repeated this throughout the journal. There's a little doily here. I put a Dollar Tree label and a butterfly from the card that I cut out. And then again, these papers are from the little, what do you call them? The scripture books. And then over here, I just layered more little pieces from the paper bags that I bought. And I layered some of the foliage and added the 3 little glitter flowers onto one of the notepad papers. Then over here, I used a strip of the paper bag with one of the butterflies from the paper bag and a piece of the, let me see, I don't know if you can see it. Let me take this card out. Nope, hold on. Okay, you see right over here, the piece of ribbon. What I did, I wanted a piece of lace like that. So I took a piece of this whole ribbon, and I took this white lace off, and then I ripped it down the middle to wind up with 2 pieces. And then I put a piece of the ribbon on each side of the, oh my God, I'm having a tough time tonight. Can't remember what that's called. Anyway, and then here's another one of the belly band. Here's another one of the cards from that card kit that I told you. It was like postcards or whatever it was. And then I just took a big piece of the cardstock in yellow because it matched and put those 2 under the belly band. And I stitched around it when I added the fabric underneath it, the ribbons. Then here's another of the doodle pages. This is the only cluster in the book, and as I was cleaning up my mess, I threw it together and stuck it down wherever I found a blank page. But this has some of the tissue, a piece of the belly band that I cut off, a flower from the paper bag. This piece of paper is from the Bloom and Grow book. And then just a couple of other little random pieces of paper. So that's the one and only cluster that's in there. And then over here, this is another scrap from the plastic envelope that I had bought. And then I just kind of made a little plastic ribbon. And there were 3 little pieces, and I kind of stapled them together because I tried to glue them. But they wouldn't stay. So I used little staples to connect them, and then I glued them down to the paper. Here's another little butterfly from the card. I added a piece of the gingham ribbon from Dollar Tree. I did it on both sides of the paper. Didn't do anything here. Another scripture card. Over here, this is a thank you card that I purchased from Dollar Tree. This is a butterfly from a pack of stickers that I had in my stash. So I sewed around the card, made it a pocket. I layered this little word I cut off of the butterfly card, I think it was, or one of the cards. I cut the little word out, stitched around it on top of a scrap of the plastic envelope. And then I put 2 of the cards, one of the cards from the pack. And then I cut a piece of green cardstock from Dollar Tree, and I added those in there to tie in the colors of the blue and green butterfly. And then I just punched this little tag out of the Dollar Tree cardstock. And I don't have any ribbon on any of the tags because I ran out of Dollar Tree ribbon. So that's one of the things that I have to complete in the journal, which I'll eventually do. And then these pages, I just put a little butterfly from the card. Again, another tab from the glitter paper that I covered in Mod Podge. These page I left blank. Over here, this is another piece of the plastic envelope, and I just kind of stitched around it to make it a tuck. I stuck a paper bag flower on it, and then I took one of the a piece of the cardstock from Dollar Tree, and I put a piece of journaling paper on here, and then I glued this from the Bloom and Grow book, and this piece is from the time card, and I just kind of put it all together, and it's kind of a little pocket. And so there's this is like the receipt book. Did I fold it in half? Yeah, I folded it in half. I punched the corners and I just stuck it in there. And the colors clash, but I don't mind that. You know, that they don't really go with like the pink and the... Oh my God, I can't get that back in. Can't get it in. Okay, there we go. All right, but I figured this teal color kind of matched with that on the piece of plastic. And then over here, I put a strip of the vellum. I wrapped it around both sides of the page, and I took the Today is Good little notepad and the Bloom and Grow notepad, and I just kind of stuck pieces of paper. This is the plastic envelope that I got all the scraps from. It was a much bigger envelope, and I cut the sides off and I made it a narrower envelope by stitching around it. I put a big yellow tag here, and this is from the paper bag, cutouts from the paper bag, and then I used the stencil, and I stenciled tone on tone on the tag, and I used a punch for the hole, and I glued this pocket down as obviously as a pocket, the pouch. And then on the inside it has a little notebook that I made from the waterfall paper, and then I just added a piece of ribbon on top, and then that fits nicely. I had to cut it down, but it fits nicely in here. And just pop it in, close the snap. And then over here, it's just a piece of ribbon and one of the craft colored labels that were in my stash. A doily, a blue butterfly from the card. This is from an agenda book. And if you've seen a couple of pages already throughout the journal, I purchased an agenda book. And so that's from that. Here is another coloring book page. This is the end of the second signature. And again, I put another coin wrapper flower there with a little gem. All right, so this is the third and final signature. I just put a little butterfly because I didn't want to repeat the coin flower again. And so this butterfly is from the paper bag. And then over here, I just took one of the flashcards and put some journaling paper on the back. And then a Dollar Tree paper clip. And again, the tab with the glitter paper that I Mod Podged over. And then over here, from the agenda paper, I cut a couple of strips. And this is about maybe 4 little strips that I put together. And then once I glued them all together, I sewed down the middle, attached it to the paper, and put another butterfly from the card. And again, this is from the scripture book. And then over here, this is a piece of the manuscript paper for kids with a craft tag, and I just wrote 2026 on it. And then more of the doodle paper. And then this was another, I think it was a thank you card, which I just turned into a pocket. I cut it, you know, around the decoration. I cut around it, and then I put gems over the dots. These are all Dollar Tree little gems. I don't know if you can see the tiny little ones here and all the ones around there. And then I used another time card to make this big tag. More cutouts from the paper bag. I used some of the Dollar Tree tissue. And then the receipt, actually from the receipt book, and another little flower. Excuse me. And then I made the reinforcement from one of the coin wrappers. And then this is another card from that card pack, Enjoy the Now. And I rounded the corners on the cards. And I put it in here because I thought the pink matched with the card. Oh, hold on. Let me get it under there. Yeah, so that's that. I used the paper bag for most of the journal. It was a godsend, the paper bag, because otherwise I wouldn't have had much to decorate with. Another piece of the ribbon on both sides of the page. Over here I used a book page from the book that I bought to tear out of. And then I put a piece of the scripture paper over it so that there could be journaling spots. Added a craft label, and then folded a few of the waterfall papers and put them in the pocket that I made. And then over here, this is another cutout from the paper bag. Another little scrap of the plastic with the word notes that I cut off from a card or the book. I don't remember where it was, but it's part of Dollar Tree. And then I took an index card, I think 3 of them, and I stapled them together. And this is a little snippet from the Bloom and Grow book. And then it's just a tuck, the paper bag. Doily. And then this is again from the paper bag. I cut it out, squared it, made a rectangle out of it, put a piece of ribbon on the bottom of it, cut out from the paper bag, put it on top as a top tuck, and then used a piece of the craft cardstock from the Dollar Tree pack and made the big journaling card. I like the way that turned out. Over here, I just used a piece of the yellow cardstock, rounded the corners, used a piece of the tissue, and added a little butterfly. Again, a doily. And then over here, this was another paper bag that I purchased. I just made a side tuck. And then I made this journal card with another flower from the paper bag. And then I folded up one of the pages from the book I don't know what it's called. But anyway, I folded it up and stuck it in there. And that's the what goes in the side tuck. And then over here, I made another side tuck using the ruler from the teacher section. And then I took another piece of the paper bag, stitched around it, and made this little booklet with some paper. One of the receipt books, 2 pages actually from that, a piece of the watercolor paper, and 2 pieces of the legal pad. And then I just stuck that in there, stapled the top together. And then I added the label, a little piece of ribbon, and this time instead of a flower, I put a little green butterfly because that's the only thing that I had green. I didn't have any green flowers. So I put the green butterfly. Over here, I made like a coin envelope. with the leftover piece of the paper bag, I put a yellow craft card in it, journal card from the craft paper. So that's in there. Okay, come on, go back in there. Put a piece of ribbon, and then I used a Dollar Tree paper clip just to kind of keep it closed. And then I put another piece of this paper in the behind the coin envelope, and I glued it down as a side tuck. Another doodle paper, another butterfly, piece of ribbon. I made the crinkle ribbon sewed down with the Dollar Tree tissue. And this is another cutout from the paper bag, and it kind of matched the flowers that are on this scripture paper, so I put it on there. I don't know if you could see the image. It's like a watermark image on the paper, and so I put that cutout there. And then these two pages have nothing. And then here's another coin flower, coin wrapper flower. And then on the back, I used a little padded mailer from Dollar Tree. They sold a 2-pack. And let me show you what that looked like. Did I keep the second one? Yeah. So it was this little 2-pack, the Jot Mailing bubble mailers. And I covered it in fabric. So you got the little puffiness on there. Put a ribbon on the closure and covered the back of it with the fabric from Dollar Tree. And then I put something back here, but I don't remember. Oh, I had cut down another one of the plastic envelopes, but it was too wide to fit on some of the papers. So I just kind of tucked it in the mailer part of the envelope. And then over here I have a little booklet that I made. I covered, I think, index card. No, envelopes. 2 of the envelopes that I stuck together. So I covered them with the tissue paper, and then on the inside I put some of the thank you cards to line the envelopes. I put flash cards in the envelopes, rounded the corners, index cards as little papers in the booklet, and then in this one in this pocket I put another index card. And then a sticker that I had, an old pack that I had in my stash. And that goes in there. And then I stuck that back here. Oh, can I get it back in? That's the question. Yeah. Yeah. And then I use the tag to kind of keep the flap from coming up. And again, this was a piece of the paper bag in the background. I layered these little flower cutouts from the bag on top of here, put a piece of ribbon, cut this crafter square off of one of the packages of the many items that I purchased to make the journal. And then I just put it on a piece of cardstock to give it some stiffness. And then layered it with the ribbon and put it on the paper bag. And then I kind of put the paper bag together with a piece of the cardstock, which I stenciled over tone on tone. And then I added 2 butterflies from the card that I cut up. And then, like I said, the tags don't have ribbons, but eventually I'll get ribbon. I'll finish up the tags with the ribbon, and I don't know whether or not I'm gonna put a new closure on it or even a topper, because I kind of love the paper bag, the image, and I like the simplicity of the topper. So I just took the strings, like I said, from the paper bag and tied a knot. I mean a bow, a little bow. So if I do make any changes to it, I'll bring you an update next week. And I also plan to do a little update on Adam and Izzy, because they're going to get their journals this weekend. And I'll give you a snippet of their reactions. So that'll come next week. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing the journal, how it turned out. I had a lot of fun making it. Sorry about the flashing light. I don't know what's wrong with that light. I gotta either replace it or see if I can fix it. But anyway, thanks for sticking with me in this whole big Dollar Tree junk journal challenge. And I had a lot of fun. Thanks. I'm tired. I'll see you next time. But remember, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. See you next time.
Please
Bye.
help Grandma's channel grow by liking, subscribing, and commenting. And make sure you share with all your friends.